So I've shown you around inside the church, and now it's time to go have a look around the parish, show you what it's all about. Check it out right here, right now. Hi, my name's Dan Beatty, and this channel is all about inspiring intentional discipleship, helping you go deeper in your faith and living it out in the world today. And certainly living out my faith in the world today. I'm a vicar here in the Church of England, here in a place called Bearton. This is my church behind me. I've shown you inside. You can check out that video here. Today we're going to go around the parish, but first some context and some detail. So I'm going to show you a couple of maps of the area so you kind of get an idea what it is and looks like from above before we go out there and have a look, but let's put some context in. So down here is Princess Risborough, and along with in Ilma, and this is where I did my curacy for 4 years. For those that have followed me, you've seen many videos of there, so I was down there for 4 years. And then after that I moved to Tame for 6 months, so I lived in Tame, which is over here, and then I was working at Lee Common over here, Swan Bottom, St Leonard's, Chorlesbury and Horridge here. So these we called the hilltop churches because they were at the top of the hill, and you went down the lane down to Lee Common. So I spent 6 months up here looking after these churches, and there's a video about that. And then I moved up here to Bearton, moving in November, and then starting at my church in December. And now what I'm going to do is show you the parish. So this is Aylesbury, a big place, city, not quite sure how many people actually, and we live just outside Aylesbury. In fact, Bearton doesn't really call itself Aylesbury, it calls itself as a village outside. You can see there's just this tiny little couple of fields that separates ourselves, but the parish is quite big. You can see this is where my house is and the church is, just here. So that's our church and that's the vicarage. This place here was the old vicarage, and all this down here and around here and all this down here where I'm drawing around was the vicarage and the gardens. So these used to be the big gardens, and now they built 6 houses there, including my house, and these gardens are quite big in itself. This is the church there on the main road, but it's a big parish, and in fact it used to be a bit bigger, because part of this is a real new building estate over here. They're building, I think, 5,000 houses. They're giving it over to the parish of Broughton, so that's not ours anymore, but it used to be fields anyway. We have Watermead, which is over here. We have Buckingham Park. We have Northern Elmhurst. We have a bit here, Orchards Meadow, or Oldham's Meadow, top of my head. The Coppice, which is down here, Bearton, and we also have Holcott, where there's another church as well. So looking over, we go all the way around here to Bearton, Buckingham Park, Watermead, the Resolution's gone, across here up to Holcott. Now we got a church here, but up at Holcott as well, which is really just what we call a hamlet. It's got a church as well, and it's not anything to do with me at the moment, but it's still in my parish. It used to be with the previous vicar a church, so that's the church. They're really old, but it's got a lot of work needs doing. It, huge cracks and stuff in there. One day I'll take you in there, if not today. So these two areas are new estates, and this is the newer one. This was built about 10 years ago. This one's beautiful because it's got a lake and you can walk around. In fact, the weather's been so bad since I got here, I haven't been able to walk around the lake because it's flooded. They just built a crematorium over here, and also we got another crematorium up here. No, further up here somewhere. Yeah, that's it with that new bit there. So the problem with these estates is
they're just all houses, all full of houses. You can see like Buckingham Park is just houses, 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 and Rabbit Warren Street, you go down one and you're just all over the place. You've got a bit of a centre here, and that's one of my schools. You've got a bit of a park, but that's basically the centre. The rest is just literally houses. And how do you get out into the houses, you know, walking around? The same on Watermead. This is the centre. It's beautiful because you've got views over the lake, but it's all mainly houses, and just getting around them is just a bit of a nightmare. Here is one of the old people's homes I go visit, and there's another one over in Buckingham Park. Over there's one in Holcott as well. And the problem with Bearton as well is that it's just like on a straight road, and it's just grown over time. But these houses again, and there's no centre in Bearton. There's like no high street, like where I was in Princess Risborough. There was a lovely high street. But here again, across it all, houses, 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 houses. This is part of the parish, Northern Elmhurst, and this is actually probably the most deprived part of the parish, quite poor. But actually also Buckingham Park. Buckingham Park was built about 2007, they tell me, and then the credit crunch came, which affected most of the world, and they got all these really nice houses, but they had to sell them off to what we call social housing over here. Social housing is people who can't afford the full price of a house, really, or come from poorer backgrounds usually, and so there's a lot of this on social housing. So it's funny because it's a poorer area, but really nice housing. So that's a parish, like round here, and all the way out here. A lot of fields as well. And then we go to this thing in the Church of England. So this shows the parish. So these show actual parish boundaries. So you can see this is the parish. So this is the church here, St James the Great, and this is the parishes. So over here, you won't be able to see it, but that's Watermead, just under. It's the old Google Maps with clouds. That's Buckingham Park School there, and we'll bring that up. So this is the parish and what it looks like now. Part of it got moved over to Broughton. So it's a big area. And now you can see, here's the data. So deprivation out of 12,382 parishes. We are, I think that's in the Oxford Diocese, 10,150. So it's not that deprived. Even that, but the thing with Bearton, there's lots of deprived areas, but there's also quite a lot of rich areas, so it kind of equals out. This has changed now. 9,000 people in our parish. There's not the shoot down here. It's been updated to 11,500 people. We've got 11,500 people in our parish, and they made this role in this church go from full time to part time. It's really kind of in a way short sighted. You just, with the layout of the land and getting across to the different areas, because it's not like one town, it's different areas, and it's really hard work. And to work just part time, essentially 4 days a week with Sunday, it's just a nightmare to try and get out there. Your time is really limited for 11,500 people. Number of parish households 3,823. That would probably, there hasn't been much building since nearly 2,000 people. So five square miles, nearly 2,000 people per square mile. Not generally older, actually. A quarter of our people living here are between 30 and 44, which reflects the new housing that was built a few years ago. A lot of people are now buying them because that you get new housing estates, so those houses are a bit cheaper. 86% white, which is quite in a sense it shows the kind of areas, because Aylesbury is very, very diverse, but you do get areas that are quite Muslim and stuff, so in different areas it's you get more people from the Middle East and stuff like that. They tend to live together. 58.8% of people professing that they're Christian. We don't see that reflected in the church here. We get so there's 11,500 people, and we got at the moment there's what we call parish electoral roll. People who kind of sign up to the Church of England. There's 41 people, but we do get a lot more coming to church. Probably about I don't know, fluctuates, maybe 80, 90 people. And there's 11,500 people. So this is the area of my parish, how big it is, and those are the demographics, and this is what it looks like on the ground. So now we're going to go out and just go basically to the main areas and have a look.
So with that kind of knowledge, we're going to get out around. This is Bearton, the church just behind me there. Bearton is very much, like I said, on a road. Goes down there to Aylesbury, up there to Milton Keynes, and you can see, like here, at the moment there's just loads of traffic, a lot of lorries, because there's the main way to Milton Keynes, and the lorries are just going up and down here all the time. They are building down there a new roundabout and a kind of relief road, and that's about 3 years time. At the moment there's loads of traffic all the way down here because you've got traffic lights down there. Over there is our local pub. We had 2 pubs in the village, kind of in a sense one's closed down. That one, what I say in a sense, is closing down. Still there, open a few nights a week. Haven't been there yet because I'm not sure when it's open and things like that. Anyway, it's a shame because a lot of pubs are closing down in a lot of villages and places, but I suppose a lot of people staying at home saving their money. Pubs can be expensive, but it's about fellowship and community. That's what people go to pubs, and of course when you lose community, and a pub is a community, and the funny thing is, in villages, the pub and the church, a lot of people see them very much interchangeable, and so you would come here for community on a Sunday and see everyone, and you go to the pub for Sunday lunch after the church, or in the evenings for community. And very much in village life, pubs and churches are the central community. When pubs close, community goes, and when churches become ineffective, luckily this is an effective church. When churches don't do it well, community goes. So this is a big thing here in England at the moment, is church being at the heart of community and bringing community back into life. And like as I showed you on the map just before, these new estates are just being built with hardly any centres and lots of houses. It's all about making money, and there's no centre for community really, and it's just house. That's enough about that. Challenges of life. Another lorry there. Some of the things on the church, and now we have to, like, the screws have to do up because of the vibrations from the road. So we can't wait until this traffic stops. Let's go out and see some places. I might go down to Holcott Church and sit in some traffic for a while to get down there, but I want to show you that, and then we'll go around to the other areas of the parish. So we're in Holcott, which is a quintessentially English place. The church is behind me. The church is from the 1300s, very old church, but it's not my church. Well, it is legally. I think I'll do another video on this. This church used to be part of St James in Bearton, and this is called All Saints in Holcott. So under the previous vicar, he had 2 churches. They made my role part-time, as I said before, and this church is they were closing, and it was supposed to be closing last Easter was the last service, and they were going to close it because if you look around here, it is just a few houses, lovely big houses, beautiful green houses over there, but hardly any people coming to the church. Major cracks and damage in there. It was getting a bit unsafe, and so they were going to close it, and they couldn't get it closed. So it is now going to be what they call a festival church, and that's having 6 services a year and being used for other things, and they're getting a kind of Friends of All Saints Holcott a society, as it were, to help maintain the building and to use the building, so it's still part of the church and be used for church things, but also going to be used for many other things. This is like so beautiful here. They got a big green. Over there behind was the old vicarage. It's now an old people's home. I go there once a month to do communions there. Lovely big beautiful houses around, all around. It's quintessentially English. I can only imagine in the summer. It's flooded at the moment over there. Parked my car there and got very wet feet. That they have, well, I hope they do, like a fete or something like that here. But this is very much in the middle of the countryside. You come off the main road, very quiet, very beautiful, very peaceful, but not being able to get enough people here. So this place, which is interesting, is about what does church look like? What does it look like now when church has completely changed, and what will be done? Like I said, I think I'll do another video on that because it's a real good thing. Can't get in them at the moment because it's locked, but I'll arrange to come down and show you what it's like inside. It's so beautiful inside as well, and maybe knowing what's going to happen in the future a bit more. But this is part of the parish, so in a sense everything outside these church walls is part of my parish, but in a sense at the moment, well, probably legally I'm still in charge of it, because no one else is in there. That's a couple of people. Hello, it's a couple of people from the old people's homes who I go and see. So I'm probably legally in charge of it at the moment. Someone else is looking after it, and so everything else is. So I have pastoral all over the site, they call it, and something called the cure of souls, which means every person living here is my responsibility. The soul's my responsibility, along with the bishops, and we need to get as many to heaven as possible to know Christ. So this is one part, very, very different to all the others. So now let's go over, and I'm going to sit in the traffic again to Watermead. So we're over in a place called Watermead. This is the main area here. So you've got a pub here, you've got some dental practice over there, you've got some shops, empty shop, which says a lot. But one of the things here, it is really beautiful because the estate goes round this lake round here. So over there where the hill is the crematorium, or one of the crematorium in the parish. We've got two crematorium, which is unusual, and one's over there. This one's a private one, and the other one is up just opposite where Holcott is, which is owned by the council. So a lot of people come around here, but the thing is, like I said before, all this is, we just had so much rain since we came in December. Obviously now March, it's just been flooded, so I haven't been able to get round yet, but very beautiful. I can only imagine that this is full in the summer. Lots of birds. You always see on Facebook lots of photos of the birds. What I'm going to do is walk out to show you the kind of housing estate a bit. So you got some shops. When I first came here, it's for the carol concert, which is really nice, a good way to get to know people. Pub is always popular to get food, and actually not too bad. So this probably would be the main area. There might be one or two little shops dotted around, I'm not sure. Once you get into the estate, like I said, it's a rabbit warren. But you come out into this car park, and then you're straight onto the estate. And the thing is, the houses do look nice. So you got kind of flats and houses. The houses, and you got houses over there, different colours. Got another lake over there, and that's where we got another old people's home. The houses here around the lake are expensive, really expensive. But like I said, one of the problems is on these estates is to get out. So it's 2 o'clock, and you just see there's hardly any people there, unless you start walking around the streets, and it'd be a nightmare. You know, you just walk around the streets in your collar. People don't tend to stop you when you're in your collar, avoid you. There might be some people want to speak, but it's a rarity nowadays. But anyway, so very much all around here it's just all houses, lots and lots of houses, and that's a big challenge. What I'm finding is actually doing videos like this and talk about the church, talk about the services, and put them on Facebook, which is great, get a lot of interaction, and people get to see me then, even if they don't respond to Facebook pages and posts. They see who I am, so over the time that I'm here, people will start to know who I am, because the way, like I say, well, I know I've gone about it a lot, but it's just really hard when you've got 11,500 people, and like 4 or 5 of these estates with no centre, and two or three of them really don't have, well, 2 of them don't have any centre really, and the big ones do, but like it's dead. So what I'm going to do now is go show you the other centre of the place over in Buckingham Park. Okay, now so we're on Buckingham Park. This area is even smaller, so behind you go out into the housing estate. Here you got a fish and chip shop. Usually get a fish and chip shop, a pub, and a hairdresser or Chinese or something like that. Fish and chip shop, pharmacy. You got a small shop over there. You got a Buckingham Park Community Centre, where lots of activities will go on. And here's my other school here, which is Buckingham Park Primary School. A couple of hundred kids in there, really good school, really great teachers. Same down at Bearton, which is the one where I live near. This one is like 2.5 miles away from my house. Bearton is about 250 metres from my house. Again, you can see how quiet it is. This bit is parking, and then with things around the outside, with mainly the retail bit there. There is a park over there. Just over the other side of these houses, there's another, what do you call it? Old people's home that I go to do communion. So in each area, really, there's places to go to do communion. But it's quiet, and you kind of drive into this estate, and it's houses, and it's houses down there, houses up there. That's where you get into the estate. There's a few people around, but again, people are coming here to these shops are coming here for a reason. Putting your collar on, you could come. The ways to think about it, maybe bring down a sofa. That could be a good idea. We'll sit down and say, do you want to chat? But you're catching a few people. We got over 3,000 houses this year, 11,500 people, over 5 square miles. That's 8 square kilometres. It is a huge challenge how we do church today, when 2.5 miles away is St James Church, which is the parish church for this place. These guys would never ever know that. They will now, because I'm posting on their social media page over here and telling them about that all the time. But how do we, well, this is one of the godsends. It's the local Church of England school, so I get to go in there once a week to do assembly, and I also get to go and see the kids do other things. Without that, the Anglican church over here would be very difficult for them. Luckily, they do have another church over here, a Baptist church, and it's about kind of working with them and seeing what we can do together. Over in Bearton, they used to have a Methodist and Baptist church, but they closed, so we're now the only church over there. And there aren't really many churches around these areas, so it's about coming together to work. So let's just go back to Bearton, just kind of sum up and have a reflection. So now I'm back home in the vicarage garden. This is part of the garden here. The church is up there. Spectacular views from the house. You got the church, and then you got this huge field over there. Just here you see lots of wood. A few weeks ago when we had storms, a big tree that was there fell down, actually hitting that tree, taking some branches off that side. It was so big, but it's opened up the view beautifully. And the reason I came here and wanted to come here is again, very peaceful. Here on this side, on the other side, you saw earlier lots of traffic. Bearton, as I was driving up, I was thinking Bearton is one of the older part of the parish. We call it parish, so parish is the area that that I look after, and it's the one with the older buildings. All the buildings, as I was driving past, all the houses are new. So over on the other side at the coppice, that's all new. Watermead, Buckingham Park is all new. Holcott is historic. Here's historic. You see over there, that's the big building there. There's the old vicarage, and like I said, all the grounds go all the way down there. And Aylesbury's just a mile down the road, and Aylesbury is like a real multi-ethnic place. It's not a really rich place, but here we kind of got a real mixture, and it's really difficult now to think, you know, you saw our churches on the main road as well, so we got issues with that, with parking. It's not really easily accessible, and you've seen in the church, and it's an old historic church, so we can't change it too much, and we're trying to update parts, and we have all these challenges, and it's thinking, how do we get out, how do we get known when we have 11,500 people over 5 square miles to come to this church with our different services, and it is a great church, but it's thinking of a new way, and how do we engage in a new way. Social media is, I think, one of the great ways now, especially when people are more inside their houses, and there's been, as I said, a lot of engagement through the social media, but how do you make church relevant? And that's something that we're really thinking about. We're praying over. We're understanding the direction of this church, what God's calling us to do. There's one thing for sure. God's called us here. We're taking a step out in faith, with money and things like that, but this church is going to grow, and it's going to be amazing to see what God's going to do here, and our plan in that, and it's very exciting. So in all that, it's discerning God's will, and how we do reach these other parishes. We are really on the edge of the parish here, so we are on one edge, and over there, like I said, we're just been in Buckingham Park, 2.5 miles away, is the other part. Pray for this church, for my ministry here, for us to know God's will, and that lives are changed. It's very exciting, really, really, really exciting, what's going to happen here. And today, when the sky is blue and the sun is out, it's just feeling like summer as well. So it's getting really excited because we can get out more, because we've been stuck in the house because of storms. There's been storms in most weekends for the past few weekends. So getting out there, getting to do more things, and making Christ relevant in people's lives is really exciting. Please pray. I will see you soon. Subscribe to the channel, like the video so more people share it, and yeah, keep praying for us. Cheers, bye.